Are Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff the right people to negotiate with Putin on Ukraine? The war in Ukraine is one of the most consequential conflicts in Europe since World War II. Any serious attempt to end it carries enormous implications, not only for Ukraine, but for NATO, European security, and the global balance of power. That's why recent reports involving Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff in back-channeled talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin have raised alarm across Europe and among U.S. allies. So who are these figures? What role are they playing? And why are key allies so concerned? Let's walk through the facts. Who are Kushner and Witkoff? Jared Kushner is the former senior White House advisor and son-in-law of Donald Trump. His professional background is in real estate and finance. He does not currently hold a government position. Steve Witkoff is also a real estate executive and a longtime Trump associate. Like Kushner, he has no formal diplomatic training and no official government authority. Neither man is a career diplomat, national security official, or elected representative. Yet, according to leaked notes from a private call among European leaders, these two figures have been involved in discussions related to a potential framework for ending the war in Ukraine. European reaction? Alarm, not reassurance. The leaked notes reveal deep unease among Europe's most senior leaders. Finland's president reportedly warned that Ukraine must not be left alone with Putin and these guys. NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte was said to agree. Germany's chancellor described the situation bluntly, suggesting that the U.S. figures involved were playing games with both Ukraine and European allies. The concern is not simply about personalities. It's about process, authority, and risk. The controversial proposal. Investigative reporting suggests a draft proposal was circulated that closely mirrored Russian demands. Key elements reportedly included Ukrainian territorial concessions in eastern Ukraine, a permanent freeze on NATO expansion, European funding for Ukraine's reconstruction, the use of frozen Russian assets in ways favorable to U.S. interests. The document was not negotiated through official U.S. diplomatic channels, nor through NATO. Ukraine was not meaningfully consulted during its drafting. European leaders viewed the proposal less as a balanced peace plan and more as a Russian-generated framework absorbed by inexperienced American intermediaries. Why this matters? Ukraine is not a transactional real estate deal. Eastern Ukraine, particularly the Donbas region, is one of the most heavily fortified and strategically critical areas in Europe. Any territorial concession there would directly alter the continent's long-term security landscape. NATO operates by consensus. Borders, alliances, and security guarantees cannot be unilaterally decided by informal envoys without undermining the international system itself. European leaders fear that legitimizing such an approach would reward military aggression and signal weakness, not stability. Trump's motivation, Putin's advantage. According to analysts, Donald Trump appears deeply motivated to end the war, but not necessarily to secure a just or durable peace. The priority, critics argue, is speed and symbolism, a deal that can be publicly declared as a historic achievement. Vladimir Putin, however, reads this urgency differently. To Moscow, it signals desperation. It tells Russia that it can stall negotiations, continue military operations, and extract concessions without backing down from its maximalist goals. In that sense, the talks may be fruitless for the United States and Ukraine, but not for Russia. Europe reassesses America. During Trump's first term, many European leaders believed they could manage disruptions through experienced officials inside the U.S. system. That confidence has eroded. This time, allies see fewer institutional guardrails and more influence given to loyalists without expertise. As a result, Europe is beginning to seriously question whether the United States can still be relied on as a predictable security partner. The bottom line: Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff may be capable of holding conversations with Vladimir Putin, but negotiating the end of a major European war requires legal authority, diplomatic experience, allied coordination, and above all, Ukraine's full participation. Without those elements, informal negotiations risk doing more harm than good. For now, America's allies fear that confusion, ego-driven diplomacy, and back-channel negotiations may hand Vladimir Putin his greatest strategic advantage yet.